Hello, and welcome back to LEGO Custom Reviews. I'm Michael, and today we're going to be reviewing a Peter Parker figure to go along with the other Spider-Man figures we've been doing, which I have a lot of, but I promise you that pretty soon we'll be mixing it up a bit with some different figures. So, let's begin. So, this figure has front leg printing, chest printing, back of chest printing, and arm printing, which is about the average amount of printing you'd get on a Lego figure, on a CMF figure specifically. It's not as good as the Moon Knight, who has printing on pretty much every part of his body, but it's better than some regular Lego figures that don't have leg printing. Because, most, not all, but I'd say most set figures that come in sets don't have leg printing on them. So, now let's start Resemblance. I don't think this figure has a great resemblance to Peter Parker in the comics or in any of the movies or shows. It is interesting to note that they gave him different colored eyebrows and hairpiece. Now, sometimes that just happens with Lego figures. Sometimes they just kind of design the headpiece and hairpiece with different colors, as sometimes that's just how it looks in real life. The headpiece, your eyebrows have a slightly different color than your hair. Just kind of the way you look. And while that usually works, I think here it's quite noticeable that the face print doesn't really match the head print all that well. So, the hairpiece is a Lego piece. They don't have any new pieces made for this set. I'd say hairpiece wise, I think it fits pretty well with Peter Parker. This is the same hairpiece that I believe they're using for Jim in the upcoming Lego The Office set. So, I've already got that set pre-ordered. I'm considering doing a review on the channel. Let me know if you guys think I should do reviews of official Lego sets, other than just my custom figures. Now, for a moment, based on what I said about those resemblances, I thought this might have been a Flash Thompson figure, considering that I think the face piece looks just a bit more like him, and that in the comics, Peter Parker doesn't actually have any Spider-Man memorabilia on it. He just doesn't, but Flash is a big Spider-Man fan. So he would have this Spider-Man jacket, Spider-Man action figure, and Spider-Man newspaper article. Though Peter Parker would also likely have the Spider-Man news article, as he does work for the Daily Bugle in the comics. Now, this is a two-sided face figure. You can tell how it came out relatively recently, the date of filming, at least within the last 2 years, due to the other face having a Spider-Man themed COVID mask. Gives me a bit of PTSD. Now, I think it's a unique figure, and I think the COVID mask looks pretty good. I think it definitely fits well. Though this also contributes to why I thought it was Flash Thompson, as it's a Spider-Man themed face mask as well, and even more Spider-Man merch that he has that Peter wouldn't have. So I do like this face. It's unique and it looks good. Now the accessory piece is this Spider-Man newspaper. So I think it looks okay. It just kind of says Spider-Man on it and has a picture of him swinging. It doesn't, and while Lego newspapers aren't really that detailed, it doesn't have anything more about what the actual headline is, or I'd expect it to at least have Daily Bugle written on it, considering that's the MCU, the main newspaper writer in Marvel. But there are others. But I think the newspaper piece is okay. It looks pretty good. Nothing special, because Lego Marvel does have a lot of newspaper pieces, as many of the sets take place in the city, but I think this one's okay, if not just nothing amazing. Now, the chest piece, I think, is pretty good. It, on the front, just kind of has a regular jacket thing with a Spider-Man, kind of, with the Spider-Man logo on it. but the back has like Spider-Man's name on it and shows his face and his hand and a thumbs up with a web. Well, what I think is meant to be a thumbs up, but is done with the kind of Lego claw. So I think it's meant to be a thumbs up by the positioning. I think it's like the COVID mask on it. I think it's kind of like a fun and unique way printing, and I like it. I like it. Now the leg printing has a belt on the waist, and it has pockets on the jeans. Now in one of those pockets is a Spider-Man action figure, which I believe, by the way it's printed, is meant to be a Spider-Man Lego figure. And as I said, with the chest piece and the COVID mask piece, I think that just looks great. It's just a fun contribution to this one, and I like it. Now the arm printing isn't much. It's just some lines that you'd sometimes see on like school vests and stuff. But it works okay. So this figure was $2 on a pack I got on Amazon. It had many of the other figures I've reviewed already, but not all of them. But I would say this figure is probably a 4 out of 5. It definitely loses some points for poor resemblance to Peter himself, but I just think this is a really fun figure. Just like a fun and unique one to add to the collection. I'd also like to give it credit for not falling into the mistake that many custom figures make that I've talked about on this channel of how the lining on the face looks. So I'll give it some credit for that as well. But yeah, I'd say this is just a fun figure, something that's like good to have in your collection. I think most people will kind of enjoy. Definitely a buy. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.